All right, so today's video is going to be a race against time. What we're trying to do, there's a meteor pass, I think it's M23 at 10:50, it's 10:05, so I got 45 minutes. What I want to do is see what the minimum viable equipment needed to pick it up with is. So I got a pair of rabbit ears here. I'll show this in closer in a minute. And I stuck it into a pipe. I got to stick it on another pipe and put it on the old mailbox, right? I have to also measure or make sure it's 20.5 inches to pick up 137 megahertz. And I need a 120-degree angle here. I may copy my other antenna just to save time because it's a race. Then I have to get some adapters and stuff and go from these two pigtails. This thing is 300 ohms. This thing likes 50 ohms, so I'm going to step it down with some just stuff laying around. So far, you know, I don't know where you get one of these. Get one of these from your grandmother. But $2 or $3 for this SDR thing. I think it's $30. I haven't seen it. Maybe get it used. And then I got an old laptop. So I may not do the Raspberry Pi node thing I did in the last video. I may just go straight into satdump here, out on the mailbox. It also looks like it's going to rain, and the neighbors, they probably won't bother me. They've seen stranger stuff. But so that's what we're doing, and we're going fast. Let me do the assembly real quick. Okay, this is the fast assembly. Again, hopefully I'm in focus. I did get a pair of rabbit ears, stuck them in a pipe, right? It's drilled a hole in the pipe. That's pretty much all I can do. So what I have to do, I have to get it from 300 ohms. Hopefully that's in the middle. Let me look here. Yeah. Okay. From 300 ohms, which is the resistance that the antenna has, to 50 ohms, which is what the SDR likes. And there's a bunch of fittings. So this is an SMA fitting. SMA fittings, I think, are cool. They're small. They're ubiquitous. There's your word of the day. They're easy to break. So from this guy, what I'm going to do, this is going to look like a knob job, but I'm using, okay, this is an old Atari box. I'm just using the screws so I don't have to cut the wires and splice them, right? You know, maybe the first rule of vintage electronics is do no harm. So I'm sticking them on there. All I'm doing is sticking this. This is a TV transformer thing, Archer, which means Radio Shack brand. And it goes from, it should say on it. That kind of worries me. These other ones I have right here, they say from 300 ohms to 75 ohms. 75 ohms is probably acceptable for the SDR. And 375, this one here doesn't say anything, but I'm going for it because I have the connector on the other side. It's an F connector. So all I'm doing with this Atari box is just using the screws to conduct signal from the two wires to each other. All right, let's get this on here. Race against time. Okay. Hopefully it's on camera. Yeah. I guess. And other one here. So the Atari box it's ugly, it's rusty. I got it in a guy's basement who had a bunch of ugly old rusty stuff. Wasn't all ugly, but it was old stuff. It was a former TV and radio repair shop, and he had an old video game, one of the first ones. It was just Pong, but it was all corroded. This is all corroded, but this should. The screws should hold these together. This is just for electrical connectivity and for some aesthetic, right? All right, so here's the, hopefully it's a 75 to 300 ohm. I could probably test with my voltmeter. I don't know how. So now I got to connect this and this. What I'm going to do is I've got a piece of cable. There's two types of coax mainly. There's RG6, which is base grade, and there's RG11, which is stiffer. This is RJ6, 75 ohm, 18 gauge, and I'm using it because it says Radio Shack on it. Bear with me here. Okay, all right, so there we go, rabbit ears to this. So here's a question, how much money do I have in it so far? Again, I could have spliced this and not used this Atari box, so $3, I don't know, $3 or $5 for the adapter. Piece of cable, a lot of this stuff, you know, you can get free, really. Okay, now you would have to have, one does have to have a a F connector to SMA connector adapter. Right, hopefully you guys can see that. Let me turn up the ISO, whatever that is. Good luck. Okay, there we go. Okay, so this is the F adapter to SMA. Okay, so now we're moving right along, right? And then I'll put this in the, I guess I'll put it right here now. And this is the SDR. So real quick, all I have, rabbit ears to the software-defined radio. That's what SDR stands for, right? That's it. And I got I may tape that on there just for weight and just to add more exciting looks. So next up, I'm either going to, and I'm pretty sure I'm just going to stick it in the MacBook and sit on the mailbox at 1050 and wait for the Great Pumpkin. But let me pause it for a second. All right, I'm back. So I taped this on here just for looks, hopefully. How could the HOA complain about that? Look at that thing, taped right on there. So again, this is just using it for screw connectors. Next up is I have to measure these antenna lengths, and I know from the internets that it needs to be 20.5 inches. So let's get down on it here and be real exact. Okay, all right. I'm more concerned about the angle between them. I wish I had a protractor. I don't think I have one. So I'm going to have to go to plan B. So if you guys can see that, let me back it up some. A lot going on. Okay. All right. So that's not bad. Let me just move it down here. So 20.5. Exactly. Right. All right. That needs to come up a hair. I'm going to move the fattest part I can to get the most fat part extended. Stuff's falling left and right. Okay. 20.5. Get this one here. Let me zoom out. All right, so this one here. What's those videos called? ASMR, where they got a lot of noises. This one I had these close already. Let me just, there's no room for error in Soul City Underground. Okay, so they're 20.5. Now, what I'm going to do, here's my store-bought or Amazon bought antenna. I'm going to match the angle on this one. So, and then wish me luck on not banging it, taking it outside. I don't know if you guys can see this craziness. All right. How do I match the angle? I don't know. That's crazy. There's got to be a way to make your own protractor, like draw a circle and divide it in half and get 180, and then divide that in half and get 90, and then go between 90 and to get 120. I don't know about this. Let me, I'm going to pause the video for a second because it's going to get hairy. All right, I'm back at it. I don't know why a grown man doesn't have a protractor, right? I don't. I mean, I need to go to the protractor store. What I'm thinking about, here's a CD. It's the Lemonheads. It's a shame about Ray. It cost me 25 cents, right? It's got one, maybe two good songs on it. But I'm thinking if I can cut it with scissors, can you cut a CD? Oh, hell yeah, you can. All right. So add this to the total. You don't have to use a CD. You have to have a protractor. Okay, all right, let's see what we have here. I'm trying to get 120 degrees, all right, so it's not a clean cut. It's a shame about Ray. I'm gonna get a lot of flack on that. I have a buddy that used to work for NBC, the sound man, and he said the lead singer of this band, Lemonheads, he wasn't real fond of him. I'll just leave it there. 180, right? So if I do this, then that angle's 90. So where's 120? Is 120? Let me ask ChatGPT real quick. Bear with me here. This is comedy. Hey, bro. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great, and I'm ready to dive into whatever you got going on. What's on your mind today?
Look, man, I'm cutting a CD in half. I'm trying to get 120 degrees on the circle. I'm cutting the lemon heads. It's a shame about Ray. How do you feel about that?
Well, you're definitely taking the lemon heads to a whole new level of geometry. If you need exactly 120 degrees,
Yeah.
careful measuring is key,
Yeah.
though I have to say it's a bold move for a classic album.
Well,
Just don't try it with your favorite track.
so look, I got it cut in half, so it's 180 degrees. What's the next cut? I mean, what's a good way to eyeball measure this for 120?
So you've got 180 degrees after cutting it in half. If you want 120 degrees next, you're aiming for 1/3 of a full circle, since a full circle is 360. So from your straight edge, 180 degrees, you'd cut off a 60-degree slice. To eyeball it, imagine dividing that half into 3 equal parts.
Okay.
One of those parts is about 60 degrees.
Okay.
You can use a piece of paper folded into thirds, or even a protractor if you've got one handy.
Yeah.
Just take it slow and steady.
I didn't get a chance to go to the protractor store today.
No worries, you can definitely improvise. If you have something like a printable protractor template online, that could help. Or fold a piece of paper into 3 equal sections to approximate thirds. If you're just eyeballing, think
Yeah.
of splitting the half into 3 equal pie slices.
All right.
As long as you get close to that 1/3 section, about 60 degrees from one side, you'll have a good enough approximation. It doesn't have to be perfect to have fun with it.
All right. Thanks, man. I'm going to pause you. Thank you. The old Chat GPT. What would we do without him? So, classic album. What was the other song? It's a Shame About Ray was one song, and then Lemonheads covered Mrs. Robinson, where they slapped on that. Oh well. So let's see what we can do here. So you said cut into thirds, and I need to go fast. It's 10:28. There's a half. That's probably a third. I wish I had a protractor. This is crazy. All right. All right, that's 120 degrees, we're going to say. So here's the antenna. And look at that. It's a shame about Ray, bros, but Ray took one for the team. I hope that's 120 degrees. Ridiculous. You just get a protractor. All right, there we go. All right, I'm going to assemble it outside. So believe it or not, the antenna's picking up. It's 10:42. I got 8 minutes, and I got the Weather Channel, so hard to believe. Let that run for a second. Now the dongle's under a lot of stress. I got to fix that, but we got to get to satdump. All right, I got 1050. I'm not convinced the SDR is picking up, but it's recording. If you look at the little constellation here, what we want is that to go into 4 balls. And, it just started 1050. Who knows? I do have the details on the pass. But, concerns. The main concern I have is that it didn't ask me for the IP address. Well, you know why it didn't ask me the IP address? Because it's plugged in the laptop. It's not a node. So it seems like it's going. All right, just to summarize, here we are. Let me zoom out. Rabbit ears. Right, cloudy day. And we're just straight in. Rabbit ears to a transformer there. Well, where's the transformer at? It's behind the pole. Down to 2011 Mac running Linux. And it's not the craziest thing the neighbors have seen me do with the mailbox. I don't think. And let's watch let us hope that something comes in. All right, this is the fishing part of it. I'm gonna look at. Oh, this is crazy. The mistake I made, possibly, I know it. Well, it's one mistake I made was I had the dipole pointing the wrong direction, so I had it going the other direction a minute ago. North is to the left in this picture, so chat picked that up. It's 11 o'clock, still not resolving. We'll try again at 4, and I'll play with the laptop in the basement I may build a 10 out here too, so I don't have to see the reflections. But so far it's a shame about Ray is the only thing that's occurred today. Okay, real quick. I failed at the mailbox earlier. I want to talk about what I did wrong. So let me point this out. What I did wrong, besides pointing the V pole in the wrong direction, let's talk about that real quick. So here's the V. I'll do it with pencils. Here's the V dipole, for example. And the open end was supposed to be north, and I had it like this. So that's a mistake, amateur mistake. Two other errors I had, for what it's worth. I had, this is the sample rate here. If you see it, it's 1024 MSPS, whatever that is, sample rate. And I had it at 250, so 1,000 versus 250 or whatever. Should have had it there. Also, I had the gain at 0. The gain was at 0. This is like the amplification of the signal. But everything else is correct. 137.9 is correct. I had the right Realtek RTL SDR dongle, if that's in the picture. Sorry, gotta wrestle. This thing was correct, right? And it should work this time at 4 o'clock. So I'm underneath the towel with the mailbox. And so it should be picking up. It's not. I can't figure out what's wrong. Could be the antenna. Recording. Okay, good. LNA's on. That means the gain's on. That stuff's right. Should be a broadband here. Right here. Should be a broadband. It's nice out here with the towel over my head at the mailbox. Come on, bro. Nothing. Hold on. Let's let it ride. It's pointed right too. I think. Yeah, the wide end's north. All right. Still nothing. I'm not seeing anything though, so that's the question. How come I'm not seeing lines? Do I have yeah, I've got the MSPS correct here. 1024. Gain's 50. 137.9. Device is selected. It's hooked up. Come on, bro. Give me some juice. Give me some juice, bro. I'm afraid to touch it. Nothing. No sync. So you can't pick it up on rabbit ears unless I have something stupid not selected, like, I don't know. Bummed. Yeah, it can't be that late. I'm gonna check it on. I hate to do this. I'm gonna hit stop. Stop. And then I'm gonna go to quickly. Did I hit stop? Stop. Quickly, I'm gonna go to SDR Plus. This is Linux. SDR Plus. 88.1, let's play it.
But that's the
It's working.
threat, the annihilation, basically, of LGBTQ community.
Nancy Pelosi radio. Go back to satdump. Start. What do you mean synced? What do you mean sync? Start. Synced. Son of a gun. How many seconds did I lose? All right, rabbit ears are working. Crazy. Well, I don't know if I have a picture or not. I'll have something. SNR 0 still. Synced. No sync. Wonder what's going on. It's probably already overhead. 1608. It's gone. We saw 4 balls. Seems like it's workable. I'm gonna stop and let it ride. Synced. All right. All right, we got 4 balls. 4 balls. Hallelujah. Read Solomon. It's sinking. Hallelujah. Yes. 4 balls. Heck yeah. All right, that's good, babe. All right, this is where the money hits the road in satdump. Hopefully I'm loud enough. All right, so I'm in the satdump app, and I'm going to do offline processing. So we're selecting the meteor processing pipeline, they call it, I think. Okay, selected that. I'm going to my input file, and maybe it's not shown on the screen, but I did get 8 gigabytes of something at the mailbox. And output directory, I'm going to make it an output directory called, I think, bear with me. I'm going to call it sat3. Sorry, sat4. So sat4 is a blank directory. Okay. I'm checking DC blocking. I'm checking IQ swap, whatever that is. I'm checking fill missing data. I'm selecting 2.4 satellite. And this is where the rubber hits the road right here. So there's a constellation. It's real fast. This crunching of data, 8 gigabytes. And you can see not much going on there. It's all crazy looking. But then we see some 4 balls, I'll call it. Look at that. So it's that's using rabbit ears, 100% rabbit ears. So it's synced. It hit 11.871 signal noise ratio. So it did bring some data down. It did sync somewhere in there. Now it may be spotty. We'll see in a second. But happy about that. All right. Here's some errors. Let's see what it says here. I don't know. I think it talks about it's going to go double. I don't know what these errors are, but you guys can go through them. Cloud top IR, infrared that can't be made, filtering timestamps. Okay, it's crunching, saving these as directories here in SAT4. You guys see that in green. Here we go. I'm gonna let this run out because it has to create the files. Okay. All right. Skipping day microphysics, whatever. Just give me the picture. Anything else? There it is, saving it. Solved, saving it. Drawing map overlay. I want to see that. I haven't figured that out yet. Somehow there's a way to do the map. So I'm clicking on viewer. There's the picture. It's upside down. I think this is the bottom Great Lake here. So it's kind of that's a picture. And map overlay. Let's do location. I'm not sure how this works. That's something for me to learn, I guess. Projection. Okay, so the best picture is, I'm going to minimize that. And let me go back to OBS and screen capture. Let me update OBS and change screens real quick. Okay, hopefully I'm recording the image viewer. Okay, so there's a picture from the mailbox, rabbit ears, and these are the different cross sections from the satellite. That's pretty cool. So the Great Lakes, this is upside down. I guess whatever's below the Great Lakes, you know, I'm from the south. I don't know anything above Kentucky, but this is probably Ohio, Indiana, whatever, Michigan. There's a good chance of that. There's a landscape view. I haven't seen that before. Clouds. And this was all off of that pulled just now at the mailbox, 4 o'clock. It's pretty awesome. There's the map. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. So it's stretched out, and I think I alluded to this before. because the Earth is not flat, unlike some people think, it kind of stretches out. So you see Florida at the bottom. That's a great picture. I'm going to use that picture. But anyhow, so thanks for watching. We had a successful test of rabbit ears. Your grandma's rabbit ears off her 1965 Zenith Commando TV. I think it's Commander. And they work great. Pulled them out to 20.5 inches, set them at 120 degrees apart, and plugged them into an SDR into an old laptop. Total cost, the antenna, the rabbit ears were free. The SDR was $30. Actually, a buddy of mine gave it to me, so it's zero. The 2011 MacBook, actually that was free, but I put $100 into it, but we'll call it zero. So I got $0 in this picture, more or less. But that's probably the minimum viable economic thing. Your mileage may vary. Thank you.